Ugoma Adegoke, and I'm one of the founders of the Lifehouse and the festival director and the founder of Lights Camera Africa Film Festival, which is where we're at now. In addition to running the Lifehouse, I also run a fashion label and furniture brand called Zebra Living. And I'm a general busy person who's just interested in doing creative things, connecting creative people, and just, enjoying the beautiful things about Nigerian culture and introducing people to those things. So I have a very broad job, but it's all art and culture based. People ask all the time, what was your favorite film, what's your highlight film? I feel bad about that because I think that I could skew things and people's views because people want to know what I think. But having said that, I'll still say it anyway. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed Sobukwe, A Great Soul.
How many races are there in South Africa?
There is only one race, the human race.
Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, a global visionary. The only man kept in solitary confinement for 6 solid years.
Brilliant man.
Humanist to the core. The giant.
An international icon whose passing led to a special session at the UN. This man, whose voice once rang the loudest, has been silenced.
We tell the truth before we die.
I'm really happy about Gone Too Far, which we're showing right now. I chased the film. I saw it for the first time in London 2 years ago at the premiere. And it's hilarious. I just think that laughter is the best medicine. I think that life is serious enough. Just laugh laugh till you cry.
I watched Gone Too Far and I thought it was pretty insightful and remarkable, especially the way it depicted the diasporan and African lives. I think it was pretty clear about the struggle between living abroad and being a Nigerian and the fusion of two cultures and how they clash. And I really liked that. I liked it because it was pretty original. I felt the actors were, I thought they were pretty professional. And I think it was a true depiction of that struggle and that clash of cultures.
It was over 3 days in one room in 2011 in the first year, and now it's at a massive 300 seating event space over 5 to 6 days.
Legacy of Africa has been amazing. I think it's been gone for about 5 years now, and just being able to have access to the kind of films that you normally wouldn't have that's really been amazing. That's been great. Also access to the artists themselves, so being able to have Q&As, people don't realize how important those are because you get a chance to actually get into the head of the artist, the person behind the work, the intention, and you just really get to ask the questions you would never get to ask them. So I think that's really the most amazing part, and I think being able to get to a point now where they can actually have it situated in a particular space has been really, really incredible.
Hey, finding Fela was a highlight for me, as well as Timbuktu. The two, and Faaji Agba, I can't forget Faaji Agba. Faaji Agba was involved in a very small way in its making, and it was a beauty to watch, So in short, everything was wonderful, but these three really were my standouts.
The Faaji Agba, it's for me, it's something that movie is a piece that you appreciate now, but like in 20 years' time, you appreciate it more because it just documents people who, without the effort of the filmmaker, you wouldn't have even known how important they are.
Faaji Agba came about because Kunle Tejo, who's kind of the main focus of the documentary, not main, he's the one that links the whole stories together. He's a family friend, and I used to hang out at the shop and talk to him, and then I saw him, he was doing this work with his musicians, so we started recording it just for posterity, and then it kind of evolved, and sort of after 6 years of filming, it became a full documentary. Someone asked me at what point did I feel there's a story here. I think I was filming, and then after a while I thought I wanted to do a documentary, so I had to start creating interviews that would tie everything together. So the whole thing started to have a life of its own, and things kept evolving. I didn't expect people to die or anything, so it's just the pure length of time that I did it. There was a natural story evolving. So yeah, that was how Faaji Agba evolved. And obviously Kunle, he had access to lots of material, with some of the photographs, and it's his music, so he could, and he has a whole lot of album covers. So we worked together. We were like this.
I was commissioned by Al Jazeera to direct a film about the Nigerian film industry. So I'm screening it here at the festival. It's called Nollywood, and it's something I'm quite proud of. It's very unlike all the documentaries on Nollywood that have been done by a lot of the media, Western media outlets. Who focus on the back aspect of Nollywood. I tried to do like do it from a historical angle, and cover all these landmarks in the history and evolution of Nigerian cinema, not just Nollywood. Nollywood came about in 1990. The name came about actually in the early 2000s, but the video industry that is booming today started with the movie Living in Bondage in 1992, which started the commercial film industry. But film industry existed way before that, and this is that story.
My film was screened here on the 1st of October. My film is called The Legacy of Rubies. It's a 28 minutes animation film which was inspired by an African fairy tale, and it's won on the 25th of September. It won the Best Animation category at the African Movie Academy Awards. And the film is about a young man. He's taken from an African fairy tale, talking about a young man who was kidnapped and brought to a strange kingdom and was told that he has to be the successor to the king who was dying. But then that he has to bring his mother first. And this guy never saw his mother because he was found in the forest as a baby. It's 28 minutes 2D animation.
I had no previous connection with Africa. I knew about the story because I like football and I was watching the Africa Cup of Nations final. I knew about the accident because I remember it very well. It never happened before, like a national team was perished in a crash, and also the media on the time we were talking about that Samia was playing in the same place of the crash. So I got really involved with the story, and actually I fell in love with the story. So I contacted some people in Zambia, and that was the beginning.
I saw the Sex, Okra and Salted Butter earlier today, and we were all really crazy just because of the name. It was just like, oh my God, we all love all those three things. And we wasn't really sure how the film was going to be, but the film was amazing. Like, I loved it so much. And then finding Fela, it's just, I've always loved Fela music. It's been something that actually even brought me and my husband together about 7 years ago. So Fela's always been something I've held really close to my heart. But then seeing the film and being in Lagos, I just felt, gosh, like I felt so privileged. I felt like to see this film at the beginning of my Lagos trip really like concrete Lagos in my heart in a different way, and just seeing a really passionate, powerful, worldwide figure in his roots, and then able to walk out of this festival into the same streets that he was, part of, and so it just felt really like I have a different kind of appreciation for the history of Nigeria watching the film.
Proudest of Timbuktu being in the festival. It's a tough film to watch because of course I'm a comedy person, but I also am a reality person and an education person, and I think that the film is so beautifully made. It's such a proud African film. We're so proud of it. The continent is just basically on the map because of this film that's gone and won all these awards. The filmmaker is highly respected, a wonderful man. We're just honored to have had the opportunity to show it. It's the first time it's showing in Nigeria. It's not an easy film to get, and again, this just sort of reinforces like where we are as a film festival, that we can actually knock on some of these doors and they can just look back at our track record and say, yes, this is the festival we're going to give the film to, and we're very, very proud. Alliance Francaise was very helpful, but we're going to show Timbuktu, and that's like for me, the celestial film of the festival. I just hope that people were moved. I hope that I've definitely been moved, even though I was the giver, but I've been so moved, and I hope that people are moved to go and sort of dig a bit deeper and finding, quoting the Finding Fela title, just finding themselves, not necessarily from an emotional perspective, but more finding yourselves in terms of purpose as Nigerians. What is our role as artists? What is our role as Nigerians? And just going deeper and just getting on with it. Like, get on. The Lights Camera Film Africa Film Festival wants you to just get on with your purpose and be relevant. And we'll see you next year.